Homeboy. Homeboy. Brothers, there's only one blood, cause it ain't no sense in us traveling on the stones. It's us, down to the bone. Blood is thick, waters were known well, cousins were kept apart, mothers were often memories. Fathers were not favorites on the farm, for he could do some harm, he could wreck the master's scheme, for he, brothers, could dream. Your mama ain't no saint, your daddy died in a shallow stream, but your uncle, Dr. King, did have a dream, my brother. And what is your real excuse? Why can't you study your lesson?
Homeboy by Sunchi Ali. Welcome to the Qumran Report. May the peace and blessings of the life-giving creative spirit be upon you and upon your family. My name is Melvin Ishmael Johnson, coming at you live from Morris Media Studio. Our call-in number is 1-323-293-3375. This week on the Qumran Report, we will talk about new black filmmakers with my two in-studio guests, Tejay Bah and Jacquil Constant. But first, I would like to call your attention to some of the community events of interest during Black History Month. First one I want to talk about is the Watson Goes to Birmingham. That's at the Hudson Theater. It's located at 6539 Santa Monica Boulevard, Los Angeles, California, 90038. The performances is at Friday and Saturday at 8 o'clock, Sunday at 3 o'clock p.m. Contact information is 323-960-4418. Also during Black History Month, renowned poet and artist Will Alexander joins the great jazz trumpeter Bobby Bradford to explore the intersection of poetry and musical improvisation and to discuss the history of jazz in Los Angeles. This is Saturday, February the 17th at 8 o'clock at Beyond Broke Literary Arts Center, located at 681 Venice Boulevard, Venice, California, 90291. Contact information is 310-822-3006. Also coming in February, celebrating James Baldwin with the showing of the film The Price of the Ticket, Saturday, February the 24th, 2018 at 6 o'clock at the Vortex, 2341 East Olympic Boulevard. The contact information is 213-908-5032. At that event, we will also have music provided by Flat Black. Artists exhibiting Judy Bowman, Lynn Corbin, and Levi Morris. So come out and see their work. And also for those who would like to improve your financial situation, I went to a My Econ workshop with Dr. E.J. Pierce. Here's a 1-minute clip from that workshop. Anytime you're ready.
What is My Econ? My Econ is the personal financial success company that teaches strategy over sales. Minimize your taxes, eliminate your debt, and invest the rest because our current lifestyle must support our future lifestyle. I am Dr. Reverend E.J. Pierce. I can be reached 310-770-7104. I am a My Econ Associate Executive Vice President.
Okay, thank you, Reverend E.J. My Econ. All right, that's Dr. E.J. Pierce talking about My Econ financial literacy. Now, I'm delighted to have with us in the studio two young upcoming filmmakers, Tejay Bah and Jacquil Constant. They have films that will premiere at the upcoming Pan-African Film Festival this weekend. Welcome to the Qumran Report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, before we get into the discussion of your film and black filmmakers, can you tell our listening audience a little about your background and how you got off into filmmaking? Let's start off with Tejay.
Okay, that's a long story, but I always say I'm from 3 different African countries from West Africa. I was born in Sierra Leone, grew up in Liberia. Grandparents come from Guinea-Conakry. Well, I grew up in St. Louis, went to college in Missouri, St. Louis. Then moved to L.A. to be a filmmaker. But growing up back home, I always used to watch, Hong Kong movies, Indian and American movies, Hong Kong. So I always knew I wanted to be a filmmaker, an actor, because I was so fascinated about the way they, performance and all that stuff. So, yeah, that started since I was a kid, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And moved to St. Louis, went to college, and then from there moved to L.A. and decided to give it a try.
Mm-hmm. So this is your first film?
Yeah, this is my first short film, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first one.
Okay, we'll talk about it in details in a minute. Okay. Tell us a little about your background and how you got off into filmmaking, the arts.
Okay, my name is Jacquil Constant. I started getting into filmmaking. I mean, a lot of it was 2 things. It was the Spike Lee movie, Malcolm X. I saw it when I was in high school, and I was like, I wanted to make a film that was like impactful to the community. And my mom's friends, he actually was a playwright. And I remember them going to film school when I was in elementary, living in Hollywood and being around other black creatives was just it just made you they were pursuing music careers or film careers. So I think of having these creatives at a very young age made me think that, that it was possible. So those were some of my influences from home and from the media, just seeing that film, Malcolm X. And then after that, I went, in high school, I went to Fairfax High. And from there, I started doing commercials in high school. Then when I did my own public access show straight out of high school, then further on to college, I went to Cal State Northridge. So I got my BA in film production. And that really made me start doing commercials, music videos, and it really just started that fire for me. Then I went back for my master's at Cal State Northridge. I got a MA in Interdisciplinary Studies, so it was Pan-African Studies and Cinema. So then it was the time after the earthquake that really made me want to make patient films in particular, because I felt like I had to make a response. Mm-hmm. And that was when I started this documentary. It was my thesis project. It's called Haiti's a Nation of Artists. And just that's really made me connect with from Haitian artists to business people, just the community, and just see everyone was open to show a different image of Haiti. And that's what the project is called. Haiti's the Nation of Artists. It's about Haitian artists creating transformational art after 2010.
Okay, we're going to talk about that a little in detail. Also, just want to highlight one of the early pioneer filmmakers. I want to read a little about him, Oscar Michel. He was born January the 2nd, 1884, and he passed March the 25th, 1951. He was an African-American author, film director, and independent producers of more than 44 films, although the short-lived Lincoln Motion Picture Company was the first movie company owned and controlled by black filmmakers. Michel is regarded as the first major African-American feature filmmaker, a prominent producer of race films, and have been described as the most successful African-American filmmaker of the first half of the 20th century. He produced both silent films and sound films when the industry changed to incorporate speaking actors. Oscar Michel. Okay. Let's talk, TJ, let's start off with you and talk about your film, Emotions. Tell us, tell us a little about what the film is about.
Emotion. Well, let me give you guys the log line. Emotion, it's about friends who benefit, who realize they are more emotionally involved when somebody else came into the picture. And now one of them has to, salvage the relationship before it all falls apart. Mm-hmm. So that's the log line. But yeah, it's more about, finding out about, communication between men and women, especially when it comes to being friends. Because I feel like for us guys, we have a different way of defining that. And it's also different for women. So I was trying to play with that concept and see where that takes me.
Well, how did you put it together? What was the first step? Can you start off from, I know you had the idea, and then how did you get the shooting script together? And talk about how you brought in your production team and all of that.
It's interesting, and especially being an independent and a first short film. Well, I mean, first of all, the writing, got a lot of rewrite, because I can see from the way I started the story, what I had in it, and to what I shot. It's completely different, doing rewrite, and especially using you too, Melvin, sending it to us like, please let me know what you think, whatever, So got the writing down, we did the table read, and that went well. Then I started the process, and mainly I want to give shout out to Tanu Masakwe, my Liberian brother, because he's the producer and also actor on the short film. When I gave it to him, he just, he was on board. It's like, okay, I can produce this, can work, I was like, okay. And he, literally, I felt like if it wasn't for him, this wouldn't have been done the time we did it, because the moment he said yes, boom, he started calling. The next thing he called me, it's like, hey, I got a DP. I got a camera. I was like, whoa. Like, yeah, he was like, yeah, I got a DP, I got a camera, I can get the sound guy. And, he just went on board, and started bringing. Then I started, started deciding, okay, who are the cast, let's do some auditions and, trying to find out. But I already, been studying with the Roby Theater, which was founded by Danny Glover and Ben Guillory. And I've met some lot of good actors and actresses in that theater. So, and Van Noen, which is my lead actress, Van Noen Bruno, she was like the first one that came in mind. It's like, oh, okay, because this is a project I've been talking about, like, since I was in acting class. A lot of my fellow actors, I've been telling them about, I'm writing this short, I'm going to try to shoot it. So finally, so I got Van Noen on, and she came on board and did the table read, and it was excellent. And Jasmine actually came from Tuotanu, because the first girl that we had a shooting conflict, and she couldn't make it. And I talked to Tanu's like, okay, Tanu's like, yeah, I know a friend who's an actress, and told her, like, she came on board like less than 2 days for the shoot. She came on board, be like, and I got the script like in the next day she was on the rehearsal. So I want to give a shout out to her, because like getting a script in less than 2 days, and and coming and doing a great job. Yeah, and Raquel Rosa is one of the actors too, and we met in an acting class also. And the other actors, like my friend, which is like almost my brother, Sadiq Abu. We're from the literally same country. We speak the same language. So, so pretty much it's having friends, bringing all the friends that I knew who are actors that I respected and admire their work.
What was the biggest challenge in putting it together?
Beside money. Beside money, it's just getting the schedule together. It's an indie film. There's no money. There's no budget. Little budget behind it. And we are all artists. Little different stuff going on. But yeah, I think just getting the team together. I think after that, it was it was much easier, because you're working with people that are professional, that knew what they were doing. And getting the DP, like shout out to my DP Frank. So having that team, I think getting the team together was the most difficult thing. But by the schedule, getting everybody's schedule to write. But when we got the schedule down, it was good. Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the trailer. Let's look at the little trailer, the clip for Emotions. let's talk a little bit more about it. What are your plans for it? You know, do you have any long-range plans for this, or this is just one to open the door for you?
I think, just open the door. Right now, the goal is, we've been submitting to festivals, So that's the goal for now. Just, as you said, just opening the doors, showing what I can do as a filmmaker. Because this is the first time taking that. I was an actor. That's like that was the number one priority. But then, being in LA for a while, you realize you can't just be an actor. You have to be more than just an actor.
Yeah.
So this is like the first, being a filmmaker. So this is like, just starting to show.
Okay, we're going to talk about that in details. Okay, Jacquil, tell us about your film, and let's talk about that for a while. What's the film about? Okay. Starting off with that.
Okay, my film is called Haiti's a Nation of Artists. It's about Haitian artists creating transformational art after 2010. And me as a Haitian American, I wanted to show a different side of Haiti. We usually just see the poverty. I wanted to show that we have a rich cultural history through the arts. And it was just like such a great experience because I was able to then, like, similar stories with TJ, like the Haitian community really embraced, and the filmmakers, the business community really made sure that they kept you honest, for one. And the other thing was just like they always made you push the envelope. Like, they made sure that you had the history right. They made sure, it was like Getty Feline. I remember she was doing a presentation on Francophone film at LMU, and she's like, "Okay, you have all these Haitian filmmakers, in Haiti, but who's your star?" I was like, I thought, it was so I had to interview Edward Duval-Curie. So every time it was like, push it to the next level. So I really liked how the community really embraced the project, and it just made me grow. And really, Corinne Fabulous has a gallery here. It's called Gallery Lacaille. And she was kind of like, she's been having this gallery in her house for about 20 years in West Hollywood. So kind of with her, and she would let me know the artists I should interview in Haiti or on the East Coast. That really helped me just to kind of give me like kind of my master plan, because I basically came from a film background. So when I was in the master's program, the art department, so that was a little different than just writing a script. It's documentary, so I had to really do my research. So I think that really helped me a lot. So when I got to Haiti, I knew I didn't want to get kitsch art. I didn't want to get stuff that people just see all the time. I wanted to get like the artist's unique perspective of the history, cultural leaders. So I went and interviewed artists in like Petroville. It's like their middle class area. So you see a lot of paintings. Grand Rue is like their inner city. So you get a lot of sculpture, like discarded American car parts, and they make that out of sculpture. So that's kind of like with the American community with assemblage art that you see, and it's like, oh, there's a lot of synergy in the African diaspora through the arts. So just like, then start seeing different regions produce different art. Like if you go to the East Coast to work, it's more abstract. You come here, the art's more idealistic of like what they remember Africa, what they remember Haiti to be. So you start seeing the black artists, they create something because maybe they're so far from home that they want to remember home in a different way.
Let me ask you this then. How old were you when first time you visited Haiti?
I was 30, I think like 35, the first time I went to Haiti. Then I went back at 39, yeah.
Yeah, how far can you go back in your roots and connect with your family line back there?
My grandmother, that's what I know. I know it's for, like, I know my, one of the generals of our family, his name is my last name's Constant. That's the story. And it was interesting when I traveled to like a Haitian community in Chicago, because I was a keynote speaker on basically on film production and for this Haitian museum. And then somebody was like, I know your family, you're Constant. Then he was a general. So it confirms, like, your mothers tell you these oral stories, but when somebody else tells you, it gives it a little more. It's like, okay, maybe that story is actually valid, And Yeah, so, and same thing on the East Coast. They're like, oh, I know Constant, like, Constant's a real, see, like, your name matters a lot, like in Haiti. And so that, you know, I got to learn that.
Is it an English name or a French name?
It's a French name.
Okay.
Benjamin, yeah, come on, Constant. It's a French. It's a European. He's like, yeah, he's probably like, if you look at like some philosopher from France and, you know, about liberation, but it's totally different when it got changed in Haiti.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just, and what makes Haiti unique is they were the first black republic and got their independence in 1804. But it's still interlinked with, you know, French society, American society, because we've been migrating, leaving for over, it's not like a recent thing, people trying to make it, over 200 years.
Well, let's talk about what are some of the misconceptions about Haiti that you being originally from there, your roots and all of that. What do you look at some of the misconceptions that the West over here that they don't understand about Haiti?
Actually, I'm Haitian American. My parents were born there, but I've been there, so I have Haitian roots. But I think it's like they just think everything's about poverty. They think everything's about like voodoo in a sense, but that's African spirituality. So that's the box they put Haiti, and even me being born here, going to church, going to black churches. I must have been saved like 20 times. Every time I go, we need to save you. You Haitian boy. And I was like, come on. After 20 times, like, this is enough. I've been saved 100 times now. And I think it's just that misconception that we're scared of our own black identity. We're scared of, because the West and the media has done a great job to make us distance ourselves from ourselves in a sense. You know what I mean? So when you go to Haiti, you see like it's a vibrant culture. It's people who are like selling goods and making a living for themselves. So it's like a different, and just that's the thing I was seeing, like seeing my mom like embracing her culture, like letting people eat like our soup jumu or different Haitian foods and different cultures. Like she wanted to be like in a sense, like it kind of got into like ambassador of the culture to show people, you know, we have people who are educated, because they think like there's people who are not educated, everybody's poor, but that's not the case. There were a lot of black professionals, there's writers, there's, you know what I mean, a lot of people in the medical field, business people that come here, and they end up, when they get here, end up doing pretty well. Yeah. But I think we don't see that side, and I think we don't see that side of black America either.
Well, and now the president, he made that remark about Haiti. What are your thoughts about that? You thought that was a misconception? I watched some of the response, and I found out, a lot of high-profile people, politicians, entertainers, and all that. I had no idea that they was from Haiti, but when the president said that, they surfaced and wrote.
Of course. I mean, because they're being Haitian people are very prideful, and when they feel they're being disrespected, essentially, that was happening. For you to call the country a shithole country, you know, Haiti and Africa, but especially with Haiti, it's the oldest black republic on the Western Hemisphere. We've been free for over 200 years. So for you to say that, that's really a slap in the face. And there's a lot of people who are prominent. I think now it's time for us like this to tell our own stories, to tell our narratives. I mean, usually the victors tell the stories, but I think with President Trump, he went with what he knew. He was brought up in New York. So when they say like Haitians back then was a Haitian body order, they would say things like they have AIDS, but there was nothing that was scientifically proven. So they had a protest in the 80s about that. And they had to take that. The CDC had to take out that statement. So it's a lot of things that just, you know, and it killed the Haitian tourism, because tourism was doing pretty good in the 80s. But by people making that contact, it kills our economic growth. We really think about this. When you say negative things about a community, you make people don't want to go there. You kill the tourism. You might as well have trade embargo. So that's essentially what you're having. You're furtherly disenfranchised a community that.
Do you see now the visual arts in your documentary, you mainly dealing with the visual artists, et cetera, like that. How do they reflect Haiti in their artwork?
I mean, it's from like family events, people getting married, to people working in the marketplace, to their generals. So you got images of like Toussaint, who helped liberate Haiti, Jean-Jean Dessalines. So it's very prideful, and it's so colorful. I wish I could show you, or if you come to the documentary, you'll see more of this. But the art is just, and that's the thing that people really know about Haiti. From the 50s, we had an art. It was an art. He was an art instructor, and he started like Center of the Art, is the center of art in Haiti, and he was from California, and it got, Haiti got recognized. That was like the golden period for like Haitian art in the 50s. But Haitian art has been in existence since the beginning, because the presidents need paintings of themselves to show they were ambassadors, to show they were world leader. Like, you need a painter to show that. So I think, with the arts is just, the arts is phenomenal. Like, when you go, there's no, like, when you can see the art in a book, like I saw Haitian, but actually going to Haiti and just seeing art like everywhere, from sculpture to paintings, and I didn't even get into the music. I just was staying in that. But is such richness, and I think with the African
How about, at one time, Haiti, from a historical point of view, was kind of stratified in terms of the ruling class, the mulattoes, and the pure blacks. How have that developed over a period of time? Is that reflected in the art also, that kind of stratification, or have it been eliminated?
I think no, it hasn't been eliminated, but I think, of course, if somebody's more bourgeois, they went to school in France, they have more of a kind of elitist mentality. But then it just matters. Even you have a middle class, you have a black middle class too, there. Who are the teachers, who are the but the mulattoes are more of the business owners there. So it just matters, like, kind of where you fall. Of course, then your art, like in Petroville, if you're trying to sell your art, you're going to go in a more affluent area. You can sell.
What's the name?
Petroville.
That was named after the general?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to find, like...
that's interesting.
So that's really interesting, yeah. You see, if somebody does paint, like Edward Duval Creek, he's really fair, but he's a nationalist, really about... So... Yeah, it's really a mentality, and if you know about your culture and your history, so I think that's what you see. Yeah.
Well, we're going to get off into it in the second half deep. What is the relationship between African American and Haitian Americans?
I think it's just kind of, where are you? Because there was a time that when there was slavery in this country, we had, like, in the 20th century, 8,000. There was a place in Haiti that we allowed them to stay. Like, Americans wanted to go to Liberia because it was so bad. Then there was a time they would let them go. They would let them go to Haiti too. And actually, there's this book that's called The Dark Prince. This first millionaire here, he was actually, do you remember that? He was Haitian. He was one of the first black men on Wall Street in New York. So there's a Du Bois, W. Du Bois. His mother, no, his father was Haitian, I think, and so there's a lot of people in the movement who have Haitians have been part of the Battle of Savannah. Like, we help America get liberation. As we help then after a while, that's what we fought for, our own liberation. We were like, okay, we can't be in a war helping France, helping America get their liberation, whereas our black liberation. And I think the slavery was different because it was sugarcane. The slaves were dying every 7 years. So they felt they got to have a mentality that they were dying already. Like, in America, you can live a lot longer because you're picking cotton. I'm not saying the slavery wasn't brutal, but since how extreme it was in Haiti and most of the Caribbeans, it forced them to have, I think, more of a militant mentality.
Well, what's the biggest challenge in putting this documentary together? Can you talk about that and the future plans that you have for it?
The biggest challenge was, I mean, one of it was financial, but it was really like understanding the culture and understanding I'm coming from I'm Haitian American. So when I'm going to Haiti, I thought that, I bought my ticket. I can go talk to whoever I need to talk to get my documentary. But there's that family component. Actually, when I was there for 3 days, I had to fly my mom in because she was easier for her to get the trust of people. You know what I mean? Like that culture component. So that was another thing I learned. And there were different rules. Like it was just, it's like almost you had to have a go-between to get in. And I think you find in the Black community, somebody has to introduce you. You can't just you could just arrive. And if you have money and means, you could infiltrate. But there's like, until somebody co-signs, you don't get the things that you need. And I need access as a documentary filmmaker. I need access of artists, museums. So that was a big thing. And just that was one of my. Once I got that, once I talked to the artists, they were great. You know what I mean? They were like, just come down. Once I got to them, but I had to go through the go-between. I had to go whoever was the manager or whoever was the, who would allow you to have access to them. Like Edward Duval decree, I had to talk to the Little Haiti Cultural Center. Then they gave me his information for him to talk to him. So that's what I mean. It was like always somebody that I had to like, or was like if I knew somebody here who ran a film festival. Before I met this Haitian filmmaker in Haiti, I had this lady Florence call. Then it was smooth. So it's like that's the thing I noticed in the Black diaspora. They say that, no, you could just get in. It's a very networking type of culture. Let
me play a clip. I want to talk about the business of show business. I want to play a clip from David McKnight, veteran film and stage actor. And I had a chance to interview him, and I asked him about the business of showbiz.
Cool.
Okay. I think your question is, what is my opinion that upstart actors, struggling actors, so to speak, newcoming actors, what can they do to gain more employment in Hollywood? Is that what your question is?
Exactly.
Okay. I would say that to develop their professionalism, study as much as you can, understand also that it's a business, and that's one of the most difficult sides of it is the business side of it. A lot of people have talent. A lot of people have talent and the ability to perform, the ability to do the job, but one of the things that they may fall short on is the business aspect of it, because it is a business, and there's so many things that you have to do on the business side in order to gain employment. So you have to seek out and understand what the business side is. Become familiar with your union, Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, which has just joined SAG-AFTRA now. And also Actors Equity Association. Find out about these unions and how they, protect you and so forth. Find out about casting directors and agents and stuff like that. Find out what it is that they do, how you have to work with them and how you have to be professional with them and so forth in order to sustain and maintain employment in the industry. That business side is very important once you get your talent straight.
Okay, Jamal. David McKnight talking about the business of it. Once again, tell us about all of the basic information about the Pan-African Film Festival. When can we see these films? What day? Et cetera, like that.
Well, Pan-African opens today. So today is the official opening day. And our short will be screening on next week, Sunday, This coming
Sunday.
Sunday. This
This
coming
coming
Sunday. This coming Sunday on February 11th.
Yeah.
February 11th, and because we are on a block of short films. So on the block that we have a 5 short films, which is labeled under 3As. So it's called 3As short films. And February 11th at 6 p.m. And the address is 36. I think you have the other one is 4020.
Yeah.
And the other one is 3650 MLK Boulevard at the Crenshaw. It used to be the old Magic Theater.
Johnson Theater, at the mall.
Mall.
Then also on the 16th.
On the 16th.
4 o'clock.
On Friday at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the African Artists Association? Can you talk about that a little history?
Yeah, the African Arts Association has been in existence for over 9 years, and it was basically brought together because there was a negative film about this film that Hollywood put about the African diaspora. Then Francis, Ronnie Charles, they started organization. First it started off, it was like Nigerians who kind of started it. Then later in they brought in, where I came in later, with kind of the African diaspora, being Haitian American. But everyone, it's a great group. You get like Bill Wynn kind of let me know about it. He's like a legendary independent who just got everybody together. So yeah, it was a place where you're going to see African Americans, Ghanaians, people from Liberia, people from Haiti, all 30, 40 black people from all over the diaspora in one space at AFI. And I've been a member for the last 3 years. And it's been a sensational place to see an African person that's a publicist, see an African American woman that's an executive. And they just have candid conversations with us once a month. And I think that's what we've really been. TJ, when he needed an editor, I told him editor that I knew. It built that community. Like we have 3 other filmmakers. So that's what I like about the African Arts Association. Like we work together.
Yes, like
you know what I mean. It's like a community. Yeah, so that's the thing that, you know what I mean. Like TJ would call me, hey, could you turn this in at this time? You know what I mean? Last night, did you turn in your poster? Like it's community. So that's why I think that we really enjoy, and it's 5 of us that are in. And that was because usually when you go to film festival, it's just your own film. But it's nice to be with a community focus and you actually know them. Because usually when you go to a film festival, you don't know the people. But this is different. And it's in our hometown. You know.
And what about the other 3 films? I see that you're doing it as a collaborative of 5.
Yeah, 5. These are other members.
And what are the other 3?
The other members, those are the other members. I think you have. So you have a short, what's his name?
Haiti's a Nation of Artists. We have Emotions. We have
Madness.
Yemis
Dilemma.
Yep.
And we have Farah the Cleaner. So these other 3 members are part of the 3As African Artists Association.
And we have, I think Jimmy John Louis in 1 too. He's the last one they added. He's the one on the something by TJ or something, or he's in there. He's like the Haitians who are in Tijuana and that experience that they're going through. So I mean, but they're making films together. Like Jimmy John Louis, everything but a man.
How about
I showed that at my film festival this year.
The brother that came to the reading that did the film about going back home.
Oh, Momo Dion. Yeah, his film. What is it? 4 or 5 years ago, from 3 years. He did a short film called Mafetiga. Yeah, which I'm working with him. I'm one of producer for this Going Home documentary that we still putting everything together on post production right now.
So let's talk about what's the biggest challenge for the black filmmaker, and then is there a distinction between the black filmmaker, the African filmmaker, and the African American filmmaker? What are some of the challenges and differences? Or can you talk about that a while?
It's interesting, for me, I would say the biggest thing, the challenge would be working together for us to be able to work together. I think to me that's the biggest thing, so we can be collaborating. Because right now I feel like everybody's just trying to get what they call their own shine on, trying to do it individually. Which we are in a business that is not an individual business. It's it's literally it's a collective or a community. So I feel like the biggest challenge is people. I won't say ego, but just how we've been conditioned. From because there's a lot of history to why we don't work together. Why we
the African filmmaker and the African
American, just black people in general. So there's a lot of history behind that why we don't work together. But I think that's the biggest challenge is working. Working together, trying to work together.
And I think for me, it really comes down to, I think a lot of it is the producer. And since I'm a producer, I've worked, the African American community. I've worked in the Haitian community, and they all have their idiosyncrasies, and you got to learn them. You know what I mean? So, and find out where you can use. Each community has a strength. You know what I mean? Maybe to me, like from being the African American community, may be more, like in a sense, strategic to certain things. The African American community may be a little more collective. The Haitian community they have a different cultural bent that they're coming with. So once you know that and how to approach these different communities, then you can get those resources. You know what I mean? Maybe this person can't be there, but they can be as consultant. Maybe, the Haitian community, they're going to be more hands-on if it's a project about them because it's about their community. So I think if you find, and for every community, and I think our community is pretty straightforward, it's a lot of politics. You are running, and the biggest thing I learned about this film, you are running a campaign when you're putting your film out. And I think a lot of us don't understand that. Like, when you are marketing your film and you're asking people, you're renting theaters, because I do that, you're asking people to see a film when they have a big Hollywood film. So it means your marketing, your guerrilla marketing, your grassroots markets have to be strong, and your online content has to be strong. Because why are you going to see Black Panthers? Or you can see this independent film if you're coming, or you choose not to have your premiere that same day if you can. But if you're not, then it means when you're marketing events, there's now in LA, there's 3 or 4 cultural events when you're doing your events.
Well, let me ask this: the new black filmmakers. I've always felt that one of the problems with black in the arts, especially filmmakers, is too much dependence upon the myth of Hollywood and the lack of having distribution networks. Because you got areas now that, as a filmmaker, that's beginning to open up, like in China, in India, huge markets over there, probably more so than over here for the black or minority filmmaker. How can you penetrate that? What do you think it take to?
I mean, as you said, trying to get into Hollywood, I feel like that's, again, it's going back to history, right? Yeah. I feel like most of us, we have been conditioned. We're literally just looking for validation and acceptance.
Yes.
From the outside, which, you can never find, So maybe I feel like, so most of us have to learn to, validate ourselves and accept ourselves, then I feel like then everybody else will validate you and accept you. So so I feel like, I see black filmmakers, new filmmakers who are spending too much time to be, look at me, I'm the good, instead of just knowing that you are good and just creating, collaborating with, with people who want to do something.
Now, how about the other problem I see with black filmmakers, just like in black theater, is potential revenue. It's not that the black community, because the black community got a huge amount of resources out there. How can the black filmmaker tap into these resources? I'm talking about black and Haitians, etc., Liberians, that may be businessmen, may be millionaires and out there. Because in mainstream society, they have that kind of support for their films, and they can...
But our community is very conservative. The Haitians, the Nigerians, they're going to support you after they see you 1 or 2 times doing some shows yourself. That's what I found with our community. They may not hear you. You can't get upset. You have to keep you got to outmarket. You got to continue to produce. And when you do that, you will, trust me, you'll start getting their attention, and they will find ways. And that's what the support that I've gotten from like the Haitian, the Black community. It's because they see that you're always doing something. Then they're going to be, because basically the historian who supported the Black arts has been the Black business people, medical field, and the entertainers. Who buys the Black art? The actors. Because they're out there, when they're around their wealthy counterparts, they have to show culturally, what do I have at home? When they have these parties at home. So they're going to have Black art. So that's what's going to support that. Then the medical people, they're around people who are prominent in their world, doctors or what, they have art in their household. You know what I mean? Or they support movies or plays or music because they need that for a cultural experience. Because they're mostly in a world where they're not the majority, these Black professionals. So I think if you're finding a way to market to them, because no one really like strategically, what I'm finding, markets to them. You know, it kind of and you have to build a relationship. Because I remember I did this HIV PSA. I was just out of undergrad in this Black nonprofit. The lady who ran it, she goes, "So who sponsored it?" I was like, "Nobody. I wrote it, shot it." But it taught me she taught me a lesson, like plant the seed early. Get people, get the community, get organizations involved. So I've been doing that. And I think that's the problem with a lot of Black creatives. We go make it in our dark and we do it, but we don't connect with the community till it's done. And now we want the community to come. But I think if you have them as early as you can in the process, and you have, different ways of making money from, the events that you produce to people that you consult, I think after a while, people will start seeing, like Oscar Micheaux. That's a prime example. You know what I mean? Spike Lee, look at these guys had commercial and they did their cultural stuff. So I think we have models. P. Diddy, we have a lot of models of Black entrepreneurs who did their commercial. Look at this place here, Morris Media Studios. Like, this is an example of Black business and Black entrepreneurship. And I think Black people have always had to start their own thing. That's nothing that's new. It's just like we don't see that as the mainstream. So we look at that, that's the secondary market. But we should look at that's the first market and give it the care.
Yeah, I mean, like we say, I mean, the other thing, I know you talk about like the finances, how to penetrate, because, and lately I feel like I'm big on history. I mean, the reason why we don't have the capital we have, we know, because of the history that we went through.
Exactly.
So definitely the Black community, we don't have that capital that you can go and be like, okay, hey, I have this movie, I want you to fund it and stuff. Because we don't, I mean, the biggest thing for me now, because like what the media portray of success of Black people, that's just minute. Yeah. It's not compared to like the majority, So I always tell my friends, like, if you like, just out of 10 Black people, only 1 or 2 is successful. 8 of them is struggling. But you don't have that image. You have that image like, okay, you have all these, big stars, this Black communities make. But we don't have that. So we don't have somewhere to go and get that money. But as you said, it's like maybe instead of trying to do it alone until you finish, you bring it. Maybe when you start the process, even though there's not that much money in the community, but at least you start bringing the community along with your process, like from the beginning. Like, okay, this is what I have. I mean, right now, there's, so even like for me, the African market, I feel like there's, successful African, millionaires and stuff, But as you said, sometimes too, they need to see what you have done. So you, as a first-time filmmaker, can't just go down there and be like, oh, I have this $500,000 project or $1 million project I want you to finance without showing, a resume. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the challenge for new filmmakers. It's like we have to show a resume. But there's the money is there,
Now, how much of impact that the internet have? Is there another door that open up for?
It's huge. It's huge. Right? Because I feel like like 10 years ago, maybe less than 10 or 10, 15 years ago, you needed the theater to put. You needed literally going to Hollywood, get a movie to be on TV or on theater. But now there's so many the online streaming. There's so many venues that you can put your stuff out without going, without needing the middleman, to say. So I feel like the internet, is we just need to learn more about it and take more advantage,
Yeah, I think like the internet is the new oasis for us. You know, especially like going to Haiti or going to Africa, like seeing like how they utilize the internet. It's different. Like we use it more for like social media, talking to our friends. They're looking at farm raids. They're looking at it. They have their radio on there. Just like the way that they use technology is totally. So I think sometimes when people travel, they come back and they're more prolific because you go to different places and you see how people are using the media. You come back like, no, there's other ways that I could be utilized this. And I think that's really helped me as a filmmaker. It's probably the things that I'm able to do right now with like, you know, branding, with the social media. You get direct contact to your audience and you get to see if something's working, it's not working. You know, like I started the Black Producers Network when I went to the American Film Market because I saw there were like filmmakers coming from Africa, from Chicago, New York, all over, and I said like, but they had they had different communities out there, the Latin community, the LGBT community. I said, okay, we're here, but we're not claiming a group position. So I did that, and same thing for Haiti's a Nation of Artists. I was like, that's another void. Let's make a page. Let's show that we have a group. I think more when we go back to our collective, it's the quicker and faster we move. And some things we have to look at, not just finance, social capital. We have to look, if somebody has a skill, I'm able to meet with this guy, Jay Lamar. He started Cali Haitians. He knows how to build websites. I could sit down with him and be like, hey, let's get this done. You know what I mean? You know somebody who's an editor. We have, because there's a lot of people who have skill sets that are underutilized in our community, who have skills they're not using. But if you have a project, they're more likely to work with you.
Let's talk about, looking down the road, what you want to achieve as a filmmaker. And then, TJ, I want you to talk a little about your production company and what you hope to achieve. Either one of you can start off with that.
Well, my production company is called Fuda Jalon Films, which, it used to be it's a huge community, like, in West Africa, they used to have a whole area which called, the Fuda Jalon. So my production company is named after that, Fuda Jalon Films. Yeah, and, right now I'm working on a feature, just got done with the first draft, doing the rewrite. So I'm waiting for your notes on that.
So you both of you want to do
I want to do features.
Yeah,
that's my goal. Yeah, because I'm more interested in like my first short film is emotion. So I'm interested in the psychic of the black love relationship. I feel like that's what that's what I'm interested in. I want to tell stories, because I feel like all the stories we see is just like one-sided or just one dimension, So it's like I want to be able to tell stories that tap into that. Emotional aspect of of black men and black women, because we have this conception of the man has to be the man strong, the woman is too emotional. It's like, no, we can include all that. We have all that, but just know where to put it. So my goal is like my production company, make feature films and also do documentary, because there's some stories that I want to tell. I feel like it's more, it has more impact on the documentary than on screen, than feature film.
Yeah, for my production company is Constant Production, and it's been in existence since 2006. And basically, we do social realism. We do positive projects. So, this film, Haiti's a Nation of Artists, I already shot 20. I need to finish the feature, so I'm in a post for that to finish the feature. So I did, the first was just to get it in the film festival circuit, let people know about it. Then I want to finish the feature. Then I have another feature film that I wrote already, like 30 pages, but I need to finish the screenplay. But it's called Dear Mama, and it's about a Haitian American woman who leaves an abused relationship in New York and moves to California. It's kind of the story of my mom, moving here. So I want to do those type of stories because I feel like you don't see the Joy Luck Club in the Haitian community. You don't see they're Haitian. I want to show that. I want to show my Greek wedding. Show Haitian Americans and show of course, we're going to show the African diaspora in Haiti. Just show like our humanity. People don't get to see that. You know what I mean? Those are the things, those kind of stories that I wanted. That's the kind of stories that I'm passionate about. And then I get, I do work for nonprofits, for small businesses. So I do that work too. So that's really why I want. I just wanted to just to continue to grow, and this is a great place. The Pan African, like I've been going to it for many years, so it's an honor to be in the biggest Black film festival.
Okay, give us before we go to some closing comments. Once again, give us the information about the Pan African Festival, when your film will be shown, and then closing comments.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the Black on a short film is called 3A's short film, and we have 5 short films on that Black. And so Emotions is Sunday, February 11th at 6 p.m. and Friday, February 16th at 4 p.m. At the Crenshaw, St. Mark Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall. So yeah.
So we'll see all of these.
You'll see all those 5. Yeah, all those.
You see
5
all the film,
all the film from that Black of 3A's members.
Yeah,
some members. Black which Pan African has been great. To set up a Black for us. So.
Okay, so closing comments and any contact information for those out there that want to contact you, might want to get involved or anything. Let's start with you.
Okay, my handle, my website is constantproduction.com. So CONSTANT, like the word constant, production, PRODUCTION.com. And my handle on social media is Jacquil Constant. So it's JACQUIL, my last name Constant, CONSTANT. And I have a handle on Facebook too. It's for Constant Production. And for the film festival that I have yearly at the Haiti International Film Festival, that's on Facebook. So and I think I have a Twitter is HIFLA. So yeah, you can contact me, and I have my website and everything, Constant Productions, and I just want to you guys just come to see amazing Black films from the Haitian, and we have 8 films from Haiti that are in there this year, and and great films from the whole African diaspora. So just come and just experience. I mean, this is in your hometown. You guys in LA, this is what happens. This is the 26th year. So we would love for you to come and support the work, and come and hang out with us. We're going to be there the whole time. Okay. Me and TJ.
Yeah. Well, for mine, Facebook.com/emotion short film. And you can also follow me on the social media, Instagram. Tejay Bah. So it's TEJAY BAH. Twitter, TJB, TEJAYB as in boy. Yeah, and same thing, Facebook, .com/emotion short film. And, come check it out. You like it, you're definitely going to love it because these are best filmmakers. And also the other thing I was going to add that, the thing I want to tell is stories that bridge the gap between the African and the African American. I want to tell stories that shows that we are more similar than, the difference that we think we have. And also shout out to all my cast and crew, all my actors and actresses, hey, you guys, you got to go, I'll let you do that again because,
I had to do that.
You guys, I'm really appreciating all the effort, all the support, Vanoen Bruno, Jasmine Hester, Raquel Rosa, Sadiq Abu, Tanu Masakwe, actor, producer, and my guy, Bill, you Melvin, Bill White, these are my mentors who, tells me, that's a too long line, cut it short. So yeah, so I'm definitely look forward to seeing you guys, February 11th, 6 p.m., February 16th at 4 p.m. at the Pan-African Film Festival.
Magic Johnson.
I definitely want to give a shout out to people that really helped me in doing the production and everything. I have to give a shout out to my mom, Jacquil Constant, who helped produce, and she helped me get talent. My sister, Kazima Fandel, who helped financially. My wife, she does all the designs that you see. and just helps for everything that's happening. Bernice Constant, and there's just like Jay Lamont. There's Ralph Lusant, who runs Sac Passe, California. Jay Lamont from Cali Haitians. Like, they've really helped. They're like influencers in the community. Really press the, help. Get the word out there.
Thank you very much. A special thanks to my in-studio guests, Tejay Bah and Jacquil Constant. Our next broadcast is February the 22nd at 11 o'clock. We'll be talking about celebrating James Baldwin. So please listen to past shows of the Qumran Report by Googling in Qumran Report. Thank you for tuning in to the Qumran Report, and from your host, Melvin Ishmael Johnson, may the peace and blessings of the life-giving creative spirit be upon you and upon your family. I leave you with Homeboy by Sunji Ali.
Homeboy. Homeboy. Brothers, there's only one blood, 'cause it ain't no sense in us trampling on the stones. It's us, down to the bone. Blood is thick, waters were known well, cousins were kept apart, mothers were often memories. Fathers were not favorites on the farm, for he could do some harm, he could wreck the master scheme, for he, brothers, could dream. Your mama ain't no saint, your daddy died in a shallow stream, but your uncle, Dr. King, did have a dream, my brother. And what is your real excuse? Why can't you study your lessons and stay in school? Why can't you study your lessons and stay in school? Free love and sex ain't nothing but a game. Don't never last, try hope. Take a chance on love, register to vote. Money ain't everything, but you could buy her a ring. Listen to little blackbird sing. Buy you a record of a yardbird with wings. Get into the swing of things, homeboy. Try some tenderness for a change. Home is where your history is, and it's not too late. Your uncle Dr. King wrote a book called Why We Can't Wait. Birmingham was yesterday. The mad dogs came to call on your mother's mother and sister. Your granddad had the black and